Alright, Sean, Katie, Sean. Katie, what the devil happened in the last episode of The Rings of Power?
What did happen?
The correct answer is absolutely nothing.
Okay.
So he was the goop. He was Sauron and then he was the goop.
Yeah. We've only watched episode 1, haven't we? Yeah. That was all one episode. He spent about 10-15 minutes as goop, and he ate a woman and became him.
It's okay though, he let the horse go.
Yeah.
He also ate a rat.
He did also eat a rat. He then found a group of like wanderers that were leaving the village was getting destroyed or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
And that's where he found the crest of like the old king. He followed him on the ship, and it showed the ship getting destroyed and him betraying the man by leaving him for dead and all that stuff. And where he eventually met Galadriel. Yeah, a bit weird. We then see Elrond running away with the rings, don't we? Galadriel's chasing him. Gil-galad agrees that they should just try them on, see if it works, see if it fixes the trees. Elrond runs away with him again. He goes to Círdan, who's meant to be like the oldest and wisest. He agrees that he's going to dump them in the ocean so they can't be used, but he then turns back because he looks at the rings. And then they try them on. One of them gets dropped. Galadriel picks it up, and that's how she gets her ring. Love that. What else?
Nothing.
That was it.
Well, Sauron.
Oh yeah.
Halbrand went and saw Adar, didn't he?
Yeah.
And agreed that they were going to attack Eregion or something like that.
Because he said that Sauron is in Eregion.
Yeah.
So
and then Halbrand went to Eregion.
Yeah. Also, I just realised the last time we talked about the 3 elven rings, Galadriel's ring isn't light, it's water.
Yeah.
No, it's not water. It's wind or something, isn't it?
I thought it was light.
No. I'm sure Círdan's is fire. I'm sure Gil-galad's is his water. And then it's Galadriel's wind. Or is it the other way around for them too? It's definitely not light, I know that though.
Círdan's is fire, I know that much.
Yeah.
But yeah, that was about it really. Nothing else. Gil-galad did a whole song and then kind of had to go back on the song. The song was about how Middle-earth was dying and the elves would have to leave, and then they finally arrived and were like, oh yeah, everything's fine now, don't worry about it. I just belted my lungs out for nothing.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, there was Gandalf.
Oh, wandering
with a telescope. It's never been seen in Middle-earth before. What next? Spaceship? Anyway, let's not be too biased. We're going to try and enjoy it. This is episode 2. Let's watch.
Oh dear. Okay.
Oh, I wonder what this volcano is.
Oh.
Khazad-dûm. Never know. We might see a Balrog.
There's a chance.
Hope so. There's definitely a Balrog in it because it was in the trailer. It's not like a big company like this to lie to us, is it? You didn't say that. You told him. Chill out, fam. Did you warn everyone? There's something waking. So which Durin is he? His dad's Durin the Fourth, isn't he? 'Cause it's from this line that Thorin and all them are descended from, isn't it?
Yeah.
God, there'd be quite a bit of, squeaky bum time if that happened, wouldn't it? Like right in the middle of a mountain and you can't see a thing. How'd you get out?
You saw a bunch of candles in the stalls.
How'd you find the candle?
There was candles lit.
Then, but how were they in complete darkness?
Is that meant to be something?
This what meant to be something.
This.
No, I don't know.
Crown. Oh, was that the 3 Silmarils that meant to be Morgoth?
Oh.
Balrog.
Where are you seeing all this? I'm not seeing all of this.
One ring. They're forming patterns.
I'm not quite as profound as you. I see a circle and I go, one ring.
What news?
I've had an unexpected visitor.
He has returned already.
Or is this some kind of monstrous nightmare?
Is that not an important vision to share?
It might be water.
What of the whereabouts of Sauron?
Because she has the looking glass, doesn't she?
Sauron was last seen travelling into
Maybe that's why she's having these visions.
He intends to supplant Adar and claim his armies.
What's his title? High King of the Noldor.
Take the eye of an eagle to see your thoughts have flown far afield. What troubles them?
Sauron may well have travelled to Mordor.
Rest assured, Celebrimbor and the secrets of his craft are safe.
Well, thank you.
Should I tell him about the vision?
Apparently not. He's already there. Is she saying that he's already there?
I tell you,
I have seen mountains crumbling, waters running dry, and clouds black gathering over white towers.
then send me to Araki.
Black
If Sauron is
clouds
there, I will send
Cannot
word.
face Sauron again.
over white towers.
It is said that
Edoras? That's too early in it for it.
White towers. Edoras.
That's the White City, isn't
they're
it?
in reality.
Edoras,
You
no.
have already been affected.
Edoras is the capital city of Rohan.
No,
Minas Tirith.
Minas Tirith. That one.
Surely that's not built yet.
Oh, I don't think
Too
that's built
early.
yet.
Do you think it's saying
Far, far in the
maybe
future.
really far into the future?
That's
Yeah.
why I must face it.
Or are they the
Tower,
White
yeah, they're
Towers?
White Tower. Because the Regian is going to get destroyed, isn't it? The realm of the Elven Smiths. Yeah, I always wanted to see Gil-galad and Elendil in live action because they seem like two people who fight Sauron together on their own and like mortally wound him. They've got to be cool.
Lord Celebrimbor regrets to inform you.
Ah, sigh.
Has he gone?
No, he refuses to leave, my lord.
He'll leave soon enough. Messengers from Lindon should arrive with news any day.
Because he's a deceiver, you see. Bit on the nose, isn't it? That was that impenetrable thing that was had the clasp.
Is Adar gonna get it instead? He's gonna realise that he's Sauron.
Probably. Oh no. Oh no. Dare I ask who that is? Yeah, but if this is another bearded man with a staff. Better not be Saruman. Oh, so she was insects all this time.
Tidings from the White Wings,
Sauron's shadows deepening.
with two halflings.
He is lost, vulnerable.
But he will not be for long.
Dark
We
wizard.
must reach him before he learns to harness his powers. Perhaps the blood I wasted to bring you before me should have been spent on more useful servants.
I will slaughter the halflings he calls friends.
Istar. That is Gandalf and them, isn't it?
They're Eastar, yeah. I'm sure the wizards are Eastar, aren't they?
Right, all right. And wise?
But there's only 5 of them sent, isn't it?
Nevertheless, it is not going to be mine.
We'll find out who you are.
Rune, isn't that near
Says
Mordor?
here, if we turn northeast, we can cut this leg of the journey in half.
Almost sounds like hooves.
Oh, it's the masked men with their telescopes.
May sound filling from afar, but up close it's an empty feast.
Oh, so this is Sauron's doing. So he's going to get them to take the rings.
We're about to prove it isn't.
That's why they want the rings, to fix.
To fix what's going wrong. If it's all the Dwarven realms, makes sense to offer the rings to all the Dwarven lords, isn't it?
With your approval, sire, we will find the light.
You have it.
Oh, that was easy. Hates his son, but, you know.
Are you really going to make me ask?
Do you mean your grandchildren? They're well. They miss tugging your beard, of course, but
You needn't make this harder than it already is.
funny. Keep saying the same thing to him.
Surely Durin knows I spoke in anger.
If that's an apology I hear, King, try saying it to my husband. I'm afraid, Durin.
Do you think her eyes look weird?
I'm afraid.
This whole section has been far too long. Don't just think that entire dwarf section was like so long.
It was just the same conversation over and over
Yeah,
again.
like what's the point? We get it. They still have a grudge against each other.
Making himself out to be exactly what you needed, the lost king who could ride you to victory. You gave him everything he wanted and then thanked him for it. And now he has done the same to Gilgalad and to every elf in Lindon.
And that is why we need you. Help us navigate this labyrinth.
There is no navigating it. The labyrinth is his.
But if but a whisper of a rumour of what I feared proved true, you would not rest until it was put right.
If our friendship ever meant anything to you, please leave.
This feels like it's been one of the slowest episodes of anything that I've ever watched.
I mean, he's not wrong. He's probably the only character that's speaking any sense.
Yeah, but her husband, the person who becomes her husband, should be here by now, shouldn't he?
They should already be married by now. Well, they are. She said he was lost.
I cannot trust these rings.
I didn't think elves grew beards.
I think Círdan did.
Oh,
He's just
Círdan had one, but
oldest.
I've never seen another elf with a beard.
So I think it was to show how old he was. Wasn't it?
But a voice.
Far older than any other elf.
Voice that could make the very sun weep tears of fire. For it is not your enemy that bears these rings.
That's...
Your most trusted friend.
But isn't
doesn't matter. That's not how the rings
I know.
work.
Isn't that exactly the point of Gandalf not having the ring?
The one
The
ring.
one ring.
Yeah.
And guide them.
That's literally not how the rings work. The issue is they've gone so far off the rings, just in the way that they created the rings, that it just doesn't make sense.
I'm right in thinking that Sauron was supposed to have had no part in making the 3 elven rings, was he?
So initially he made what became the 7 dwarven rings and the 9 rings.
Yeah, he makes them.
He took them. Celebrimbor then made the 3 elven rings using his methods. So there was a link to Sauron, but he didn't actually have a part in making them.
Which is why he couldn't corrupt the elves.
Yeah. But as soon as Sauron put on the one ring, the elves realised what he was doing and they took theirs off. All the elves took them off because they didn't want to end up being corrupted. But this is just so far from that story. Oh, congratulations, just told everyone ever where you are.
And the staff I saw in my dream.
Nori.
Well, that doesn't look like a very Gandalf-y stuff.
In the dream it was that, and then you saw a different
morphed
version
into
of it.
something else, didn't it? Aye.
It's going to become...
That's silly. very good shots.
Mm. Oh.
That water's going to be really sandy now. Oh well,
there is another one with them, you know. He's just shouting for Nori. There's two of them there.
Yep, they're dead.
It is quite invisible.
Invisible.
What?
You're gonna make a ring into it.
Still
invisible.
I assumed it was because the doors on Moria and various other places.
He's gonna use it to invisible.
Yeah, invisible unless in moonlight.
I know.
Like the doors
that.
on Moria.
Yeah, but
that's what it's going to be.
I know, but I also assumed invisible.
I don't think that's it. Silmarillion's like 3 years long. That's how long it takes to read. And you've got to read it about 8 times before you fully grasp.
He just goes off on a tangent about things that you don't think is necessary.
Like he'll talk about a tree. It's not even one of the trees, it's just a tree.
Not since she left for Lindon.
Then you know nothing of what's happened. Nothing of the rings.
That umbrella is doing nothing for him.
Have they worked?
Where are you going?
There's no cause to stay where I'm not wanted.
Wait.
Yeah, like what's the point of that umbrella? What was it
doing? It
doing?
didn't do anything.
It's like designed to, go, oh look how clever the elves are. Well, they can't be that clever if the umbrellas don't even work.
I'm reveling. You have not the slightest inkling how this feels. After all this time, after so many centuries, to finally create something.
There is much you do not know. Much I want to tell you. Only...
You're afraid.
Is he just going to come out and say that he's Sauron?
You see, I've never been able to hide anything from you.
Well,
there are forces in this world, beyond evil, Celebrimbor. And sometimes they send aid in the form of an envoy, a messenger, not just elves, but dwarves and men.
So is he making out like he's an Istar? Well, I'm obviously Sauron is.
Stronger. And the rings of power are our last hope of restoring the light. You and I have work to do.
Sauron isn't a Valar, is he?
Sauron? No. Is he a Maya?
Halbrand.
But I think he's saying that he's been sent by the Valar.
Artist possessing the craft to save all Middle-earth. The storm is coming, Celebrimbor. I can bring you the knowledge none other possesses. You need not bow to me.
but I have beheld your natural form.
Rise. Our work begins now. A sharer of gifts. Annatar.
Okay.
Annatar. Lord of Gifts.
I'm afraid you misunderstand, Galadriel. Elrond's task is not to join your company, but to lead it.
Does that not seem like the smartest thing an elf has done for a long time?
Yeah. I feel like the show isn't doing the elves justice at
no,
all.
no, they just all seem like such douchebags and idiots.
Even the dwarves, I feel like the dwarves aren't what I had imagined.
From Lord Celebrimbor. He wants the dwarves to come to Eregion.
God, that felt like such a long episode. I feel like I've aged a year watching that.
What I don't understand is why... is how... why...
And what?
Everything.
All of the questions.
Because we knew from the first season how different the story was. They changed pretty much everything.
Yeah.
I'm sure, if I remember correctly, I'm sure the 3 elven rings were the last rings. Were some of the last rings to get forged. Because I'm sure they made this, what became the 7 dwarven, the 9 men. He went away, made the 1 while he was making the 3.
Right.
But he wanted the 3 elven because he heard of like the power and stuff. So then that's when he went back and with them because he kills Celebrimbor in quite a brutal way to find the rings. But he's already sent them to Gil-galad, Círdan, and Galadriel.
So they've done it in the wrong order. Not only have they done it in the wrong order.
The story's just completely
not only have they done
different.
Not only have they done it in the wrong order, but they've also ballsed up what was essentially supposed to be the loophole in the Elven Rings. Is that Celebrimbor uses Sauron's methods, but he doesn't. Sauron has no input on them. So
he doesn't. Yeah, he's not. Yeah.
So they can't be corrupted. And
I think there's still a link between them because I'm sure when Sauron puts on the 1 ring, the elves can sense it, so they take theirs off.
Right.
But I don't think it's the same effect as what like the 9 have. And the 7 dwarves, I'm pretty sure the dwarves just are so stubborn in nature that it doesn't really affect them.
Yeah.
Or something like that. It doesn't affect them. Not like it does men.
He takes them by force, though, doesn't he? Well, he takes what ones he can by force.
The dwarven. Yeah. But because I think he realises that men are the ones that are so easily corrupted, and they're the ones that he kind of.
Yeah, God, I mean, that's, you know how we said in one of the first episodes of The Acolyte that we watched, where it was like, the first 3 episodes could have been just 1 episode.
Yeah.
That could have been a 10-minute episode. Like, there was just so much of it that was obviously put in to sort of be all
fill it out,
dramatical and and pompous for the elf, but
the elves,
they seem so stupid. Like, I don't understand.
Elrond is literally the only elf that speaks in any sense.
Even Círdan, who's like the oldest of them all, you would think he would get where Elrond's coming from. It's like, yeah, fair enough, we might have good intentions, but that doesn't mean the results aren't going to be terrible.
Because that's literally the point of the rings, is that like they corrupt them. It's not about their intentions, it's about what the ring does to them. It's what Sauron's will does to them. It just doesn't make sense. I just feel like the elves in general just don't feel right.
Isn't that the reason that Círdan gives his ring to Gandalf? I assume. Because Gandalf isn't going to be...
Did you not give it... His ring is meant to, like, instill hope and stuff in people. It's fire, isn't it? So I think it's meant to, like, burn and, like, help bring hope and stuff. And I think that's why he gives it to Gandalf. He thinks he's the one that can do the most good with that ring.
Yeah.
Or something like that.
So, as it is at the minute, we've got... The darkness is spreading through all the Dwarven kingdoms. So the Dwarven rings are obviously the next ones.
Because it's going to somehow fix them out.
We've barely even seen men so far in this, so I assume the men aren't going to get done yet. We saw sort of men in the Southlands with Adar, but apart from that, we haven't really.
Considering that the whole point of Elendil and Isildur is they're meant to unite men, and we haven't seen any men, have we? Really, we've seen the Southlands, but they're all been imprisoned and stuff and killed. And
I haven't seen Elendil. We haven't seen Isildur, who at some point are going to have to go and found the 2 kingdoms, Gondor and Arnor. Is that the other one? It's Gondor and Arnor, isn't it? They're the 2
I think so, yeah.
kingdoms. But yeah, even as I was thinking about it there, I was like, I was so excited even before the first season, to see Gil-galad and Elendil, because you know this is a man and an elf who fight against Sauron single-handedly and mortally wound him.
Yeah.
And then we get them and they're just... I mean, Elendil's just a dweeb, isn't he? And Gil-galad's just a moron. It's like, are we expected to believe that these people are going to unite?
Like the last hope of...
150,000 elves and 100,000 men.
This... In the first season, we were kind of annoyed with how things went. But I was still like, well, they could still do, you know, whatever, and they could make it good. The more I think about it, the more I just think they shouldn't have changed the backbone of the story, because it just doesn't make sense. I'm pretty sure... Is Galadriel not already meant to be in Lothlorien at this point? With Celeborn?
Oh, the ring's what makes Lothlorien so hard to...
I know, but I'm sure she's already there. That might not be what it becomes, but...
I'm not sure.
I can't remember everything about the story, but...
Yeah. But then you've got... Oh God, you've got Gandalf with his stupid stick, turns into a big mummy-esque sand tornado, kills his two hobbit friends. Who the heck's the other wizard? If that's Saruman, I'm going to be so annoyed. It's bad enough having one wizard there who shouldn't be there.
I don't think it's going to be Saruman.
Who else is it going to be? It's called the Dark... It's not Sauron.
I know, but it can't... No, it can't be Saruman. I refuse to believe that they're going to be that dumb that they're going to introduce Saruman as a dark wizard when he shouldn't. No, that's not no.
I saw a theory that said this stranger might be one of the two purples. Blue, whichever. One's purplish. You know, and although it's given off all the feeling that it's Gandalf,
it's not.
It's not. It's actually one of them. And we would see another him at some point come along as the other one, and that they would venture further out to the east, which is where they go. And you know, we'd essentially... But then I've also seen the thing that says maybe it's two different times. That like the elves and stuff is one period in time and the stranger is a different one.
But why?
Because we've never seen them interact, have we? They've never sort of crossed paths.
But why? What's the point?
Well, I assume if this is going to be Gandalf, it's gonna try and show us how the Shire comes about, and you know, because obviously the Shire.
But they're in the east. The ruins in the east. The Shire gets founded in the west. Why would?
I don't know. I'm just saying this is things that I've seen and read. But that dark wizard there, who else can that possibly be if not Saruman? And if they're then going to claim that Saruman was evil from the beginning, then they've completely ballsed up the law. Just every single thing about, like, take out a good hour of that episode there. I'm not sure how long it was. I think it was about 63 minutes, 64 minutes. The rest of it might as well have just been a 3-minute clip. Oh, the dwarves are still in a huff with each other. Elrond's now taking charge, and Halbrand is Anatar.
I'm sorry, but the dwarves, there was about 3 different times it talked about both the Durins being fought like still not talking to each other, and it's like, just why do I need to hear it 3 different times from 3 different people? I don't care.
And I know dwarves are stubborn, right? And obviously the whole thing with all of the Lord of the Rings is that dwarves are stubborn.
Yeah.
Not towards each other. You know, they're sort of like, you know, if the Hobbit showed us anything, it's that, you know, they're all bound together. They're very together on everything, and that's what's so stubborn about. They only trust each other. They don't trust anyone else.
Yeah.
And this is a father and son. I get grudges, and I get kings and heirs and stuff. Half an hour of that episode was just people going, "Oh, the king's obviously still in the huff with his son. Oh, you're the king's son. You're used to rubbing jewels." What was the point of that mine bit? Why was that in there?
To show his hardships, he's no longer a prince.
Oh, God. I better see a Balrog real soon, otherwise I'm going to fall out of this show.
It should better be the last episode or something.
It will be, I know it will be. God, it does that. Like, you know, people can say what they want about certain other shows, right, and how there were always filler episodes and everything. That wasn't even that was just a complete waste of an episode. That was an hour where the only interesting thing that actually happened was Halbrand turning into Anatar. Apart from that, what else did we need?
I feel like that was their way of going, oh crap, maybe we should have done the Anatar thing, 'cause that makes more sense than just Halbrand. Let's give them Anatar now, and it's like... But it's lost its effect, because we know who Anatar is. The whole point is that we don't know who Anatar is.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? That's literally the point of the character.
That was probably the most interesting part of the first season,
yeah.
was trying to figure out who Sauron was, despite the majority of the evidence pointing at Halbrand. You know, we were sitting there and going, oh well, maybe it's this person, maybe it's this person, maybe it's that guy.
Because we were like, oh, let's give them the benefit of the doubt. It's not going to be the obvious person.
And then it was the obvious person. I know, and it's just... It should... The route they should have taken was, this bad guy is called the Deceiver. And it should have been constantly deceiving not just the characters, but us. So we could sit there and go, oh, okay, fair enough. But then it's like... We know what he's doing, you know. When he's very slippery, and you know the scene before, it's like he plays with your mind. Next scene, oh, I'll just wait here. Look at this giant scratch on my back, and it's like, oh my god, just have a bit of finesse. Have a bit of finesse. If they hadn't even revealed that Halbrand, or even if they did reveal that Halbrand was Sauron, and then they completely recast someone else and had different characters doing different things, and have a reveal at the end of this season where it's like Anatar was this person and this person and this person, and he was deceiving everyone. It's like, okay, fair enough, I understand, but I don't want to see the deception as it's happening. I want to be able to go, you know, oh, so he was all these people. Let's go back through and what? Ah, look how clever that was. He was deceiving them there, because there's a teeny tiny element of that in the first season where it's like all these hints that Halbrand was Sauron, and it's like, okay, I get that, yeah, okay, cool enough. But so you take that element and make that the primary element of the whole show, and then you don't balls up Tolkien's lore.
I feel like it's at this point
it's almost unrescuable.
They've written themselves into a corner. Because it's not the story.
Yeah.
In the first season, like I said, you could kind of be like, oh, well, you know, maybe they're just going to do a season for each of the rings, and then might do a season or two for like the War of the Last Alliance and stuff. But I just can't see how they're going to do it.
I don't think there's anything that this show can do to convince me that Gil-galad and Elendil could ever fight a fully powered Sauron. Especially not the Sauron we see in Lord of the Rings.
Even, I mean, the elves just feel different. You know, in Lord of the Rings, how the elves just there's this air of like...
They're almost ethereal, aren't they?
Yeah.
Like otherworldly.
Like when Frodo and Sam see them and they're walking off because they're going to go up the ships and stuff, and there's this light about them. They feel sad because they're leaving Middle Earth. It's just like they haven't even interacted with them yet. It's like it just doesn't have that feeling. I don't feel the same about the elves in this that I do in Lord of the Rings.
I can't.
Or even in The Hobbit.
No. My thing is, I can't... Whether or not Amazon likes it, people are always going to say, well, how is this going to connect to The Lord of the Rings? Mm-hmm. Because, let's face it, The Lord of the Rings is the greatest trilogy of all time. It's a pillar of cinema. There is nothing that this show, I don't think, can do to convince me that lad's Elrond is going to turn into Hugo Weaving in any way. That Gil-galad or Elendil is ever going to become cool enough to fight the Sauron we see in Lord of the Rings, or that Galadriel is going to turn into Cate Blanchett.
I feel like the best out of the bunch is Elrond, because a part of me thinks the writing isn't doing him any justice, but I think he's doing as good as he can with the character. But
he was okay in the first season, but I don't know what...
There's just no wisdom about them, I feel like. As horrible as that is to say, like... Galadriel is just...
Do you know what she's like? She's like Bella in the Twilight series. That's what she feels like. She's like, oh, I can't go back to Sauron on my own, because if I do, I'll fall in love with him again. It's like, what?
Woman, you are meant to be married.
Yeah.
And also, where is her husband? What? He was just lost. Why was he lost? Where did he go? What's he doing? What? They're already meant to have a daughter at this point, aren't they? Because Elrond marries her.
Yeah.
So where in the War of the Last Alliance is meant to happen? What? At most 5 years in the future from this? Maybe not even that. Maybe only even a few years.
Well, they've got to establish. The men have to establish the kingdoms of Arnor and Gondor first.
So a few years, at least. She's meant to somehow find a husband who is somehow mysteriously lost and have a child with him. Unless she already has had a daughter, in which case she's never mentioned that ever.
No.
And she's meant to fall in love with Elrond and all this stuff, and it's just like a.
It's a big mess, isn't it?
Where are any of? Because don't get me wrong, Lord of the Rings wasn't wholly accurate to the story. Everyone knows that, but it still held up. It still did it justice.
Yeah.
It didn't crap on the law.
If they were going to make, a film of the Lord of the Rings, that would have been really, really, really impossible, almost impossible, because they're too big. They made those films palatable to people who probably haven't read the books, and made them. They were great films. And it's like they tried again with The Hobbit. The Hobbit's one book.
Yeah.
And that trilogy was just a knacker trilogy. But then with this, it's almost like they haven't understood this period at all. Because it's even bigger. It's like, the War of the Last Alliance was only recently added to the Silmarillion. The parts that's in it. It's like, yeah, it just feels like a giant mess.
The thing is, there's a lot of law with this time, and we're only seeing two or three very specific branches of it. There's a lot going on in Middle Earth at this time, and we aren't seeing it. And so it feels like we're going to get later on in the show, and they're going to be introducing this stuff, and we're just not. People don't. Unless you know the law, you're just not going to have a clue.
No, it's not palatable to everyone.
Yeah, because it's like even us, we don't know everything. We can't remember everything that happened because the law is massive.
Anyone who can is lying.
So you try and you remember things and you try and keep up with it, but even then, it's like I just don't feel like there's enough. We haven't seen enough. It's happening very quickly. It's also a very different story, so you don't know what they're going to include, what they're going to take out, and it's
just a big mess. Yeah. Anyway, that was us reacting to episode 2 of season 2. Let us know what you think. Try and be nice. How would you fix it? Then like the video, subscribe, ding the bell to be notified when we upload. We upload every day. Anything else you want to say?
I'm probably going to go in and remember other stuff. The things that should happen and things that... Or things that shouldn't be in it. And I'm going to go, it's what you know what I mean?
If I don't see a Balrog soon, I'm going to be in a real huff. And if that's the last episode, then the huff that I have going into Christmas will be biblical.
Oh, not Christmas. Please, Rings of Power, don't ruin Sean's Christmas.
Thank you for watching.